not into reading, or you just can't find the right book to read, or even the fact that you might have a book and it just doesn't retain your attention like you thought it would, I might have a solution for that. Just stick around if you want to find out. Let's go. Well, we all know that reading is important to life. And most of us as kids were taught to read for information purposes. And as an adult, as a growing into adult, you start learning to read for entertainment. But did you know that reading is actually beneficial to your health and that there have been studies for that? Absolutely. In a website that I went to called Business Insider, there's a quote that says, when we read, not only are we improving memory and empathy, but research has shown that it makes us feel better and more positive too. Science has shown that reading has some amazing health benefits, including helping with depression, cutting stress, and reducing the chances of developing Alzheimer's later in life. So yeah, I mean, it has helped, and there's even a chart with the 14 different benefits on how reading improves your mind and body. Now, that alone is just actually great news to learn. It should help you, motivate you into grabbing up a book and reading. And I'm going to get to how I can help with that. And right after, I mean, you can skip to the end and find out exactly how to do that. But I just wanted to go over these 14 ways of improving your reading. And I'm going to post up the chart so we can follow along. So reason number one would be reading brings existing neural pathways in the brain to life. Wow. Number two is reading complex poetry in particular helps the brain remain elastic and active. Number three, frequent brain exercises like reading decreases mental decline for the elderly by 32%. Number four, when you read a book, you have to remember a lot of things, including the different characters and also the main plot and any subplots throughout the story. All of these points throughout the story are new memory in your brains, which means new synapses being created and existing ones being strengthened. Therefore, your brain's short-term memory and recall capabilities improve. Now, there was a study that was made, and it goes as follows. Participants read 30 pages of a book the night before and then had an MRI on their brains the next morning. Results showed there was a heightened connectivity in the left temporal cortex. This is the area of the brain that associated with language and intelligence. Now, the result of that, even though the particulars, reading is fundamental, even though, sorry, somebody fucking texting me, I'm trying to read off my phone. The results of that is that even though participants weren't reading the novel in the MRI machine, their brains were still retaining and heightening connectivity as if they were. This means the brain is like a muscle, and exercising this muscle, people can improve their brain power. A study shows that depressed patients in the mental health ward showed positive improvement when they were read stories aloud. They reported feeling better and more positive about things. Okay, number 6. In the case of depression, self-help books are best because people with severe depression benefit greater from a low-intensity intervention. Self-help books fit into this category. So not only does reading them help patients with depression, but the topic also adds a benefit. Number 7 is researchers have demonstrated that reading can reduce stress by around 68%. Wow, that's a lot. Number 8 is elderly patients who regularly played mental challenging games or read books were 2.5 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's. Number 9 is creating a bedtime ritual like reading before bed signals to your body that it's time to wind down and go to sleep. However, this only applies to real books. as screens like e-readers and tablets can actually keep you awake longer and hurt your sleep. So remember that. Pages, pages, baby. Number 10, children who read are better able to grasp abstract concepts, apply logic in various scenarios, recognize cause and effect, and utilize good judgment. So read to them early. Get them reading. 11. Numerous studies have shown that students who are exposed to reading before school are more likely to do well in all facts of formal education. Number 12. A children's book exposes your child to 50% more words than watching a television show. Yeah, I don't know. Because I grew up watching Sesame Street. One. Anyway, number 13. Researchers have discovered that those who read about characters doing something are more likely actually to do that activity in real life. This means that you're more motivated to ask your employer for a raise or complete that bucket list you meant to get to. So, and last but not least, number 14. Identifying characters in a book also helps you experience the type of real life relationships you would experience with a real person, which means you identify with people who are shy if you read about a shy character. Now that last one is really important because I kind of use that myself. When I read books and they're put into situations, you can actually retain that information on how they handle the situation and how they got through it, and you can run through that in your mind real quick and apply it to your own life, and it usually helps out. Here's the dilemma: a lot of folks, they pick up books and they just put it back down because the books are not exciting enough, they're not entertainment, and they lose their attention. It loses them, so they end up putting the book down and they get discouraged. Well, one of the things that I do, and I hope this helps you out, one of the things that I do when I go for a book is I stop thinking about it as a book. I love movies. So when I go to a bookstore, I'm no longer thinking about which book I'm going to read per se. It's more of which movie would I like to watch? Which movie would I pay my money for? So I go in there with that frame of mind. And then I do like certain categories like science fiction. So guess what section I'm going to? Science fiction section. But I might not always want to watch a science fiction movie. Sometimes I like a horror movie. So then I'll go to a horror section, right? Or I might go to a medical mystery, a drama type movie. And I'll go to that section. And that's how I would pick up the book. And I read the back of the book, of course, and everybody knows that. That gives you like a brief synopsis of the book. And then, give it a try. Now, one thing I will say too is that when you actually find a book and you have it just 100% hits right at home and you loved it, then you want to at that point remember who the author is. And if you don't have a clue on what your next book, usually in the book there's a page where it tells you that particular author and what other books they've written. So you have a list already of other books that you can pick up, right? So you have a different list. And then, keep that author in mind because their style is usually, when it fits you, and they pretty much carry that style on almost every book they write. So I'm hoping that that'll help you out. Go in there, don't think of it as a book, think of it like a movie or a TV show that you like, and then use that to help you pick out which kind of book you like. Look at the back of the book, of course. Get a quick synopsis. If it fits right in with what you're looking at, what you're looking for, then you can pick it up, read it, and then if you like it, then you have an author that you like. I have like 3 main authors one is John Lucino, who he writes a lot of Star Wars books, so I have an extensive Star Wars collection. Robin Cook, who writes a lot of medical mysteries, crazy books. And yeah, there's a lot of different books that I read, but those are like the main ones. James Patterson also comes to mind. So those are like my three favorite authors. And I'm hoping that this will help you out. Okay, so there you go, folks. So when next time you're looking for a book, I'm hoping this helps you. Go in there thinking like, well, I would rather watch this movie instead of I'd rather read this book, and then go in there and pick a book that matches the movie that you would like to read. Because we all know that when you watch a movie, that the movie usually doesn't turn out as good as a book. And the reason for that, because in the book, you are your own director. You get to choose and decide what each character ultimately looks like. Even though the book gives you a guideline to what things are happening, in your mind, you get to picture it yourself and make it the way you want. So a lot of times when you go to the movies, it's a little bit disappointing because it's not the way you pictured, the way you envisioned it, but the way that director interpreted it. So that's why books are usually way better than the movie. Plus, there's always more detail. But I hope this helps a lot of you guys and gives you a little bit of insight. And let me know if it helps you on your next book, a little technique that I use, right? And I'll see you next time on Entertainment Review, where I'll be going over some other stuff. All right, y'all? Deuces.